SOLIDWORKS Composer is a 3D tool which allows you to repurpose your CAD data to create 2D and 3D graphical content for use in publications such as instruction manuals, assembly guides, marketing assets, sales configurators, and even training material. SOLIDWORKS Composer doesn't only work with SOLIDWORKS files, it can actually open over 20 different types of 3D formats, including native Inventor and PTC files, but also the more common CAD-neutral formats such as STEP, IGES, and Parasolid. Importantly, SOLIDWORKS Composer works concurrently with your CAD files, meaning your content is always up to date with any changes made with the original source files. Every time there's a change, your SOLIDWORKS Composer document can update to reflect those changes. And, as you'd expect, SOLIDWORKS Composer is seamlessly integrated within a PDM environment, meaning all downstream documentation is then also managed in a controlled workflow. Once engineering has provided the initial 3D CAD data, we can get to work creating some new documentation. In this example, we will create some instructions for this V-twin engine. Importantly, when we import the CAD data into SOLIDWORKS Composer, not only is the original assembly structure or hierarchy maintained, but also all of the rich metadata including custom properties are imported too: part numbers, materials, process, and finish, etc. This means that the author doesn't need to cross-reference or interrogate any other documentation. Using the same controls as SOLIDWORKS, we can manipulate the view to get just the right angle, or we can use predefined or custom-defined cameras to create consistency throughout the document. Once we're happy, we can save this as a view. Here, we want to illustrate how to remove one of the covers of the engine. By default, the colours and appearances of parts will be the same as the original SOLIDWORKS model, but we're able to change them in SOLIDWORKS Composer to allow us to easily identify certain parts for certain procedures. First, we'll change the entire engine to be a neutral colour, then highlight the engine cover in green. We can then use a tool which allows us to create a detailed view of the area in question and save this as a new view. Going back to the original view, we can use simple transformation tools to illustrate removing the bolts that secure the cover in place. We can also automatically add path lines to show where they've come from. Then we'll remove the cover itself, and finally the gasket behind it. We can then save this as a new view. Just like in PowerPoint or Word, we can include additional images to supplement our on-screen graphics. Here we'll add a company logo and also an icon of an Allen key, thus illustrating the procedure further without the need for text, which could potentially require translating if the product were to be sold overseas. We can even import additional 3D geometries to represent tools or even jigs. Adding labels is really easy too. Simply attach them to a part or assembly and decide which custom property you want it to display. In this instance, we'll simply use their file names. These particular labels have been created in a certain style to match the colour of the Acme logo. By using different styles, we can ensure that all content created in SOLIDWORKS Composer always looks exactly the same, regardless of who created it. For example, the same fonts, the same colours, and even the same line weights. SOLIDWORKS Composer allows users to easily create assets such as high-resolution images. These are typically used in third-party applications such as Microsoft Word, Publisher, or PowerPoint. These images can be created at up to 25K in resolution, meaning whether you want to use them in a small A5 pamphlet or as large pieces of artwork for an exhibition, SOLIDWORKS Composer allows full control, including anti-aliasing and even a 360-degree capture option. Typical formats for these types of files include JPEG, bitmap, TIFF, and even PNG, including that all-important alpha channel for transparent backgrounds. Let's save all of these views and publish them using Word. By using the Insert and Link function, we can ensure that this Word document will always stay up to date with any changes made in our SOLIDWORKS Composer file. Now, in a typical design process, change is inevitable. but by simply re-importing the revised CAD data into SOLIDWORKS Composer and resaving all of the previously created views, our Word document is now bang up to date. We can also create super high quality vector graphics. These are different to high resolution images in that they are scalable and won't pixelate when you resize them. You also have far more control on things like line weight, fill color, and even shadows, allowing us to create true technical illustrations of our product. Here, we'll create some illustrations to show an exploded diagram of one of the sub-assemblies with a full bill of materials. SOLIDWORKS Composer has some great tools which allow us to automatically explode assemblies, create bills of materials, and even add balloons. Using different combinations of line weights and definition, we can create a user-defined style, which means that every time we create illustrations, they always look exactly the same. We can either publish these files in CGM or EPS formats using applications such as InDesign or FrameMaker for print, or we can publish them directly using SVG files, which can be viewed on all major web browsers. The whole way that people are consuming this type of content is changing. Traditional paper manuals, which are potentially out of date as soon as they are printed, are increasingly being replaced with content that consumers can view online, perhaps using a laptop or even mobile phone or tablet. Vector graphics created in SOLIDWORKS Composer can not only be viewed online, but can actually be interacted with, allowing the viewer the power to choose their own path, whether that be performing a certain procedure, or even identifying spare parts using the interactive bill of materials. These online assets can then be accessed as easily as scanning a QR code on the product. We can even build links inside SOLIDWORKS Composer content which directs us to other web pages, perhaps for spares, PDF documents of existing technical drawings, and even e-drawings where a full 3D model could be interrogated. Finally, sometimes a movie is worth 1,000 pictures, and SOLIDWORKS Composer allows users to quickly and easily create animations of their products. By simply dragging still images onto a timeline, SOLIDWORKS Composer will animate between them. Animations have never been so easy. Save time, save money, and improve the quality of your documentation with SOLIDWORKS Composer.